Like, I'm happy that they thought back and didn't quit down 2-0, but they got the loser point. All this is doing is delaying the inevitable of making trades on this roster that have to be done to improve this team for future seasons. Come on, Johnny. Why aren't we celebrating that the Titans finally got their man for their offensive coordinator position? Anything that happens with the Preds the rest of the way is just gravy. Let's try to enjoy these last 6 games before the Olympic break, okay? Before you fly off the handle, Johnny, take a deep breath. Does someone somewhere have a voodoo doll collection of this roster? As always, not helping. I guess the season's over. So, that was the plan.
Why does it say placed on waivers?
Nothing said. I have to talk about dumb moves and a Preds front office. What the hell did I just watch? Do I really need to be here for this at this point?
I'm not having flashbacks to Game 4 against the Canucks last spring.
At this point, Johnny, you can just splice together old intros. Cutie intro.
Redemption take you home.
Preds lose 3-2 to the Boston Bruins in overtime Tuesday night inside TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. A valiant effort by the Preds to not give up when down 2-0 to fight back, but fall short ultimately in the 4th period and keep themselves meandering just below that line between the have and the have-nots of the Western Conference. Preds on the first game of a 3-game Northeastern U.S. road trip looking for some sort of redemption after the 3 games that they played last week. I'm watching this game on Sportsnet, and of course they love to go with the Nesson feed if it ever involves the Bruins, and I'm definitely feeling my age as I turn 1 year older this upcoming Friday, watching the Bruins feed with Marco Sturm behind the Bruins net, a man who was drafted into the NHL my freshman year of high school. Preds seemingly out of imminent danger to start with as they get out of both the first period and the first 5 minutes or so without surrendering a goal against them. That good luck would seemingly continue for the Preds as they would take the first penalty, a Brady Shea slashing penalty, and they would kill it off. This despite the Bruins power play being at a 35% clip the last 10 games. Preds were being outshot early, rallied back to keep the shot difference a lot more even, but ultimately it's the Bruins who strike first under 7 minutes left to go in the first period off of a face-off win in the Preds zone. Puck comes over to Lindholm to gets a shot off. Minton is providing the screen in front of Saros for the Bruins, and Lindholm's shot gets through, giving the Bruins a 1-0 lead. Preds would get power play after that, but only a minute in, it would be negated by a Philip Forsberg high sticking penalty. And I'm thinking to myself, how many power play opportunities have the Preds had this season that have been negated because Philip Forsberg is careless sometimes with his stick and negates it? Too many to count, but fortunately the Preds don't let Philip Forsberg's blunder cost them, and they kill it off. Fast forward to under a minute left to go in the first. The Preds don't go into the intermission without a fight. Fury of Preds chances in the Bruins and in front of Swayman's crease. They don't score. The Bruins lead 1-0 after the first period, outshooting the Preds 8-6. Preds come out with the jump early in the second period, but unfortunately, it's the Bruins who strike again almost 3 minutes into the second period. Steven Stamkos and Roman Josi are keeping tabs too much on David Pastrnak, which means somebody else is wide open, including Eric Holla, who comes in late. So Pastrnak says, hey, Morgan Geekie, why don't you take care of this? He says, don't mind if I do. Makes short work of the pass. There's nothing Saros can do, and Morgan Geekie, his 30th of the season, puts the Bruins up to a 2-0 lead. Again, post a Bruins goal. The Bruins take a penalty, giving the Preds a power play. This time, former Pred Tanner Jeannot trips down Phil Forsberg. On the power play, the Preds nearly give up their first shorthanded goal of the season. The Bruins get a 2-on-1 odd man rush. Mark Castellet nearly converts, but fortunately, the Preds record that is also held by just the Utah Mammoth of not giving up a shorthanded goal this season remains intact, but the Preds are still in a 2-0 hole. Again, just like the previous Preds power play in the first period, the Preds negate this one. This time it's Steven Stamkos who takes a slashing call, but fortunately, after the 4-on-4, the Preds would not give up a power play goal on the other end of it. If I didn't know better, I could argue that these two Preds players, Forsberg and Stamkos, were trying to help the tank progress with negating these Preds power plays with penalties. The second period would continue, and with about 7.5 left to go in the second period, Hampus Lindholm would trip down Michael Bunting, and unfortunately, the Preds would not be able to convert due to the Bruins' stifling penalty kill, but maybe a sign of positive momentum is that the Preds did not negate the power play this time. Just over a minute left in the second period. Preds swarming just like they did at the end of the first period in the Bruins zone, trying to find something, maybe some lucky bounce that they can get some momentum going into the locker room, and there's a delayed penalty. It would be David Pastrnak who gets called for slashing Roman Josi, and the Preds immediately get to work in the Bruins zone, swarming just like they did at the end of the first period, keeping the puck in. The puck goes around the horn, out to the point at one end to Ryan O'Reilly, and he immediately sets up his captain on a one-timer who beats Swayman for his 9th goal of the season. The Preds cut into the Bruins lead, now only down 2-1. And it wasn't mentioned on the Bruins Nesson feed, and as far as I could tell from people I asked, it wasn't mentioned on FanDuel that with that goal by Josi, he is within 1 goal of 200 for his career, which will be a nice milestone that it would have been nice if he had hit it in this game, but he will hit it soon enough. Clock winds down in the second period. Preds find themselves down by 1 goal after 40 minutes, being outshot by the Bruins 22-16. And the mentality of every Preds fan as this game starts the third period is all we need is 1 goal. All we need is 1 goal. You gotta hope that the Preds have the fresher legs in this game the further it goes, because the Bruins are playing the second half of a back-to-back, having gone to overtime and losing in Madison Square Garden against the Rangers Monday night. 6.5 has been played in the third period. The edge in play has to be given to the Preds at this point, but they have no goal to show for it. Forsberg would set up Ryan O'Reilly, but he can't beat Swayman. These two teams are battling away as we're under 9 minutes left to go in regulation. And then there's a Donnybrook with a whistle between the two benches. Everyone grabbed a dance partner, and after all cooler heads prevail, the refs would assign a penalty to each, Michael Easymont and Michael Bunting, meaning these two teams would play 2 minutes 4-on-4. About 30 seconds left to go in the 4-on-4. Preds in the Bruins zone again, putting the foot on the gas, and finally, some lady luck on their side. Adam Wilsby sets up Nick Blankenberg, and with a screen provided in front of Jeremy Swayman by Steven Stamkos, Blankenberg lets a shot go that beats Swayman stick side, and the Preds have come back from down 2-0 to tie this game at 2. Last quarter of the third period now. Pretty much in next goal wins territory. The Preds trying to find another gear to get that third goal and get the 2 points. My heart picks up its pace as we're now under 2 minutes left to go in regulation. Preds, who were down at one point in this game, 2-0, and it could have gone a lot uglier, have come all the way back to tie this game at 2, get 1 point out of it, outshoot the Bruins 11-6 in the third period. Everyone catch your breath just for a moment after we have played 60 minutes of hockey. Well, so much for that hope in what has to be one of the shortest overtime periods in a regular season I've ever seen the Preds play, if not the shortest Bruins win the faceoff. Charlie McAvoy carries the puck into the Preds, and Yossi is trying to guard the pass and see where everything is going in front. So he's doing his job. But McAvoy just throws it on net, backhand. Here comes David Pastrnak, just outworks and outskates Brady Shea. Thank you, Brady. And Pastrnak is able to get right in there before Saros knows what hit him. Tip the puck with his stick, just barely over the line, but it counts. And the Bruins walk this game off with a final of 3-2. For a moment there, immediately after the overtime loss, I saw people on X mentioning that the Preds had climbed within 2 points of that magical line that they still can't get themselves over. Whew. Fortunately, that was short-lived, as the Kings would defeat the Red Wings in overtime, extending that hole that the Preds were behind up to 4 points. Also, the Kings have a game in hand on the Preds, so at least for now, I don't have to see Preds fans or myself get our hopes up at all. To his credit, earlier today on 102.5 The Game, General Manager Barry Trotz seemed to express that he was more open as of late to trading assets off of this team to contenders and trying to improve this team for the future. And he even admitted that if he gets a really good offer for Ryan O'Reilly, he would be tempted to pull the trigger there too. So that's good. I will give him credit in the moment for saying the right things in that interview. I just will have to wait and see when that moment arises that he won't get nervous and pull back from making such a move. The Preds road trip will continue into Thursday in New Jersey against a Devils team that is higher than the Preds in the overall standings. But like the Preds, if you ask their fans, they want former Preds captain Tom Fitzgerald to be making moves because they don't have any confidence, much like most of us, that their team will be making the playoffs. So watch the Preds luck against a team that they should lose to. They'll probably luck themselves into a win, right? So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click a like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. You can find my social media and interact with me during every Preds game by clicking on the channel name. Tell all your friends about redemption. Everyone deserves a chance at redemption. Just look at what the Titans are doing right now, trying to improve their coaching staff so they can put a better product on the field across the Cumberland out one tight way so the fans will support them. That's what the fans want to do if the Preds just give them the chance to. Don't miss a chance to one day, and it will come, witness redemption.